Good morning, everyone. We're so glad you could join us for our Taiji Qigong 18 forums today. This program is generously sponsored by the library trustees. Before we start our program, I would like to read a brief disclaimer. Participation in this online Tai Chi and Qigong program, while generally considered safe, could result in injury. Not all the material presented here are suitable for everyone. These exercises are not intended to substitute for appropriate medical care or advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Program creators, teachers, producers, and hosts assume no responsibility for injuries resulting from the use of this material. Without any further delay, please welcome our instructor, Vincent Rathville.
This is our 8th class of the Taiji Qigong 18 forums. So after this class today, we'll have 2 more classes. So let's do our preliminary movements to help us prepare for the set. So as we had done before, we're going to be circling the knee, letting the leg hang down out of the hip, and circling in one direction several times. Okay, then you can turn and go back the other way. So you can see the knee is actually making a circle. So relaxing the ankle, relaxing the toes, relaxing the hip and the knee, everything relaxed. So remember, you can use a chair if you want to for balance, if that's an issue. Okay, and 3 loose kicks. And the other leg. The other way. And 3 loose kicks. Put our feet right up close together. Bend the knees. Press the knees gently back. Get a nice stretch on the backs of the legs. From the side, it looks like this. Stretch out the backs of the knees a little bit. Then bend the knees and circle over the feet. Okay, in between changing directions, we stretch out the backs of the knees again, bend the knees and circle the other way. And once again, stretch out the backs of the knees. Bend them again, roll up through the spine. Tap the heels 3 times. Moving up to the waist, we can circle the hips. And pause for a second and go back the other way. So now we arch to the front. So arching my torso to the front, arch to the back. Now with our weight on both feet, we're going to imagine that we have an axis going, a pipe maybe going right down through the top of our head, through the bottom of the torso into the floor. So we're going to turn around that. Keep the nose and navel in one line. You might find if you turn too far that it's hard to keep the nose and navel in line. So just turn as far as you can while you're still able to keep the nose and navel in proper alignment. Okay, so the next one, we can stand a little bit wider and shifting the weight side to side, keeping the hips or moving level. Top of your head is going to stay level. Think about what happens when you get to the end and you start to move the other way. Try to keep the movement continuous. So remember, when your weight shifted, the hip, the knee, and the foot should be in line. Adjust the width of your feet as needed so that it's comfortable. So now we're going to add the axis turn that we had done previously. So again, keeping the nose and navel in one line. Try to relax as much as you can while you're doing this, so that, and if you notice tension developing, maybe you can take a rest, or at least maybe try to relax the areas that might get tense. Try to keep the hips and the buttocks relaxed while you're doing this. Whole body relax. Keep the lift from the top of the head, but everything else relaxes down. So now moving up to the shoulder blades. So lift the shoulder blades up and then let them settle. Lift them, and then it doesn't have to be a big movement. It's better actually if it's a smaller movement. Try to make the movement nice and buttery smooth. Comfortable, should be very comfortable. So this helps to relax the muscles around the shoulder blades. When those can relax, the whole upper chest, upper back, neck, shoulders, all these other areas can relax too. Okay, so now allow the shoulder blades to spread apart, so they're moving away from the spine and then back towards the spine. So notice how that brings your fingertips around in a small arc. Doesn't need to be a big movement, remember. Keep your 70% or less even of what you're capable of doing. So you're well within the range of being comfortable and not causing the nerves or the muscles to get tightened up or something. We're trying to get the body to open with the Taiji Qigong and these preliminary movements. When the body's open, the circulation can improve, nerves can relax, fluids can circulate in the body more easily. Okay, now I'm going to be moving the shoulder blades kind of in a small circle like this. So if my hands are my shoulder blades, this is kind of what the shoulder blades are going to be doing. I'm not sure how much you can see from the front, but I'm kind of circling up, out to the sides, down, in towards the spine, up, out, down, in. Let your breathing be nice and long and slow. And while you're doing these, you can do what we had talked about in the previous couple of classes, where you're allowing the breath to, the exhale and the inhale to join, so that there's no space between them. So the breath is kind of moving continuously in a circle. You don't need to try to match this to the movement of the shoulders right now, but okay, so let's switch, going up to outside, in and down. Relax the arms as much as possible. They're just going along for the ride. Okay, so now I'm going to be circling the shoulder up the back, across the top, and down the front. So notice how the shoulder blades are moving while you're doing this. If you notice that there's some jerkiness in the movement, try making the movement a little smaller. Try to let it smooth out. Maybe go a little slower. Okay, and then now let's go up the front, across the top, down the back. Okay, just let the shoulders relax for a minute. So now let's do this movement where we're drawing the elbow forward and pulling the arm out from the body and then letting it come back. So notice how that affects your shoulder blade. The shoulder blade will move. The shoulder blades, if you're doing this with two hands, will move apart and slightly around the rib cage, and then back towards the spine. So you're just gently pulling all the muscles, tendons, fascia, just pulling it slightly and then letting it drop back. elbows to the sides. So allowing the elbow to pull the arm, putting your mind in your elbow, and pulling your arms out from your body from the elbow. Try to feel the effect that's having on the shoulder blades. This will be a smaller movement, so it may be hard to feel. Shake the arms. You can bounce a little bit in your stance. Let the bouncing be gentle, so you're not trying to, don't let it be too violent. You're just trying to allow things to stretch out. You can shift the weight a little bit as you're doing this. So you can check your feet. We're going to do a little standing now. So put your heel right into your instep and then pivot on the toe and slide the toe forward. So now your feet are about foot width apart, one of your feet. So you can bend the knees a little bit, bend in the hip joint and the quad here. Lift from the top of the head. Allow the chin to tuck slightly, lengthen the neck. Everything else relaxes down. Shoulders down. Elbows open a little to the side. Keep a little space in the armpit. Palms facing the back. And your index finger can be along the side seam of your pants if you're wearing them. Center your weight on your feet so they're kind of right in the middle of the arch, not too far to the heel, not too far to the toes, but right in the middle. So as you're standing, you can notice your breathing. Allow the chest to settle. Allow the breath to kind of move down into the belly. Remember last time we talked about feeling the belly move when we breathe? So feel that now, without forcing it or anything. Just notice how the belly moves when you're breathing. So keep the breath nice and circular, connected so that there's no space between inhale and exhale. Comfortable, relaxed, natural. You almost want to feel like your arms are slinkies, so they're just hanging down beside the body. And maybe the skin on your whole body just feels like it's sagging down. The bones are upright and holding everything in place, but everything relaxes on those bones. Just let it hang down. Okay, so we'll move on. So just remember this standing that we just did, that can be a whole practice in itself. You know, you can gradually get so that you can do that every day for a few minutes. And you can just very gradually let the amount of time that you're doing it increase. Just be careful if you overdo it, if you have any joint problems, you might notice some discomfort. That's a sign that you should ease up. You know, do it for a shorter amount of time. Don't bend the knees as much. Maybe do it every other day instead of every day. But for those of you who find, you know, that they can do this, this can be a very effective meditation. You can allow your mind to get very still, notice the breathing. Just keep relaxing down. Check your posture now and then so that you're lifting from the top of the head, tucking the chin, letting the neck drop, and indeed the whole spine. You can almost feel like the vertebrae, the spaces between the vertebrae are opening and as they hang down. And your arms, the joints are open, 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 from the shoulders, elbows, wrists, everything open and hanging down. It's a wonderful exercise and has an awful lot of benefit. So we can shake a little bit, bounce a little bit more. So we've spent a lot of time today going through the preliminary warm-ups. And as I had said before, if you have other warm-ups that you like to do, you can do those, or you can mix and match. Some days you can do the ones I'm showing you here. Other days you can do other ones. Even just taking a walk is nice. Or if you don't have time, just go right into doing the Taiji Qigong 18 forms. All right, so let's review the postures we introduced last time. So last time we did two postures, turning a wheel and bouncing a ball. So I'll back up a little further from that. We'll go back to punching. So exhale as the hand goes out, inhale back, exhale, back. Remember with the punching, the elbow stays down and the fist screws out from the hip, starts out palm up, and then by the time you finish the punch, it's palm down. The whole arm stays relaxed for the whole thing. Then after that, we did goose flying. So inhale as you go up, exhale down. Remember, we're going up on the balls of our feet. You don't have to raise the heels that high, but if you want, you can raise them up an inch or so. But if that's an issue, then just move the weight to the front of the foot, and then when you go down, move the weight to the heel. Inhale up, exhale down. So this is called flying goose. And then we did turning a dial. So, and if you have, remember I said, if you have any back issues, be conservative with this. So the conservative way is to just lean forward a little bit, bring arms up over the head and down the other side. So inhale as the hands come up, exhale down. So 3 times on each side. So a less conservative way to do this, if you're confident that your back is okay, you're bending more from the hip. So you can allow the arms to hang down further, come up one side and down the other. Okay, so the next posture that we did was bouncing a ball. So remember, one hand is coming up, opposite knee is coming up. So my right hand is coming up, my left knee is coming up. So we alternate. And can come up about as high as the shoulder. So the idea is that if we were bouncing a ball, the ball bounces, comes up, I catch it with my hand and I push it back down again. So that's where the name comes from. So it's a little bit of a bouncing ball kind of posture. And then at the end of the set, we do this lift palms and press palms. So even if you do part of the set, you always finish with this. So inhale as the hands are coming up, and exhale as they go down. Inhale, and exhale. Then we would do a little more standing. So today, let's go through the whole set. So starting from the beginning, I'll face and then I'll turn so you can see. So the first posture is called commencing movement. So inhales, hands come up, then elbows down, wrists down. Inhale. So your hands are making kind of a circular movement. And notice how I'm standing up into the posture and then squatting a little bit as I go down, just very slight. Inhale coming up, exhale down. So this is done 6 times. Everything's done 6 times except pushing waves and spreading the wings, which we'll get to towards the end of the set. Okay, second posture is called broadening the chest. Inhale, exhale. And notice how I'm standing up as I inhale and then squatting a little bit as I exhale. Mostly bending this quad area here. Inhale, exhale. So the third one is playing with rainbows. Hands come up over the head, open to one side, and then exhale to the other side. So inhale, we're looking at the lower hand, and exhale, looking at that lower hand. Inhale, and exhale. So here we have kind of a lateral shifting of the hip. The torso kind of arches to the side. So there should be 6 of these. We might be doing a few more. As I talk, I lose count. So this is called circling hands. Squat down, scoop as we inhale coming up, exhale down the sides. Inhale, standing up, exhale down the sides. So while you're doing the set, you can try and make the breath very continuous. So there's really no space between inhale and exhale. You may have to regulate your breath a little bit so you don't get out of breath during the movement. Next one is repulse monkey. Hand drops down as we inhale, exhale as it comes out over the other hand. Inhale, exhale. So here we're doing this axis turn. Inhale, exhale. So from the side, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Next one is called row the boat. Arms are kind of like our paddles. Inhale as we stand up. Exhale as we squat down. The forearms are parallel. Inhale. So as the hands are coming down, you want to bring the arms parallel as best you can. Then lifting a ball. So we're reaching across our center line, lifting the ball up, let the ball drop. We lift the ball up on the other side, let it drop, it bounces, we catch it, we lift it up. So inhale up, exhale down. Don't forget the hand here, this hand drops back by the hip, so that kind of gives you some support. Palm faces the ground on this hand. So I'm lifting the heel on this side here, the unweighted foot, the heel comes up. Okay, so now we're going to carry the moon. So it's like we're catching a beach ball size object, bringing it down past our knees or our thighs and up on the other side. So inhale up, exhale down. And from here we go right into twist and push. So here we're doing an axis turn. So exhale as the hand goes out, inhale as it comes back. So the turn, the axis turn and the hand going out arrive at the same time when they finish their movement. Inhale back, exhale out. So we go into cloud hands. So here we have the axis turn and the lateral shift of the hips. So nose and navel stay in one line. So inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Step forward, scooping the C. So we're bending from the hips. So exhale down, inhale up. So this one is 6. This next one is going to be 12. This is called pushing waves. So notice I'm lifting the heel when I push forward, lifting the toe when I come back. So inhale back, exhale to the front. So if midway through you feel like you'd like to change the feet and resume. Try to do it smoothly so you don't break the flow. You don't have to change. You can do 12 all on one side. So then we transition into spreading wings, which is also 12. Exhale out, inhale back. Exhale out, inhale back. So the feet are the same. So lifting the toe when I shift back, lifting the heel when I shift forward. So I'm going to shift now, change feet. So stand up on the front. Be careful not to fall the arms out like this. That's not what we want. We want to sort of stand up over that front foot. Hands come to the waist and we're punching. So exhale out, inhale back. One more on each side. So now we go into flying goose, lifting the heels as we reach up. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Turn a dial. I'll do kind of a conservative one of these. So 3 on each side. Inhaling up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Bouncing a ball. Inhale one side, exhale the other side. Inhale one side, exhale the other side. So the last one, lift and press palms. Inhale as we come up, and exhale as we go down. Or we can spend a moment standing afterwards. Let everything settle down. Let our breathing normalize. We can sort of we can bring our palms one on top of the other, just below the navel. Bring our awareness gradually absorbing back into this area here. We call this the dantian. Storing any extra energies, fluids, whatever that has been circulating. You can park them here. It's a safe place to store extra energy. Okay. So we'll spend a little time working on the breathing again. Do a little bit of a recap. So initially we worked with using the breath to lead our awareness kind of gradually into our body. So starting noticing what's happening as the breath passes the nostrils, and then a little deeper, and then to the back of the nose where the nose opens into the throat. Then gradually allow the breath to lead you to the opening to the lung. In each stage, you can spend a little bit of time, several minutes, maybe several days even. So then you can allow the breath to lead you into the upper third of the lungs, thereabouts. So you're just noticing what's going on in that upper third of the lungs. So you can start outside, bring it in through the nose, the throat, into the opening of the lungs, to the upper third of the lungs, and then back out. So now you can go down deeper into the halfway into the lungs. And see if you can allow the breath to lead you all the way to the bottom of the lungs. So at some point, you can start to become aware of the diaphragm. It's a sheet of muscle that goes just under the ribs, goes all through the whole body, kind of separates the upper body from the lower body. So as you're breathing, try to sense a movement here. You can even put the edges of your hands just below your ribs and see if you can feel something moving as you breathe when you inhale and exhale. And again, the breathing, you want to work towards having the breath be continuous. So you're inhaling and it blends right into the exhale. And then inhale and exhale. So feeling for that movement of the diaphragm. feel for it at the sides. So no forcing, no pushing. Just try to let the ease of the breath kind of lead your body into a more relaxed state. You can even put your hands kind of over the kidneys, sort of below the ribs and the back. See if you can feel some movement there. It's a little harder to feel because there's some big sheets of muscle between the abdominal cavity and your hands. So maybe you've got some sense of the diaphragm moving. Now you can move down and put your hands on the belly. So as the diaphragm moves down, that pulls air in through your nose and into the upper respiratory, down into the lungs. But it also compresses the internal organs. On the right side, just below the diaphragm, we have the liver. On the left side, we have the spleen, pancreas, stomach are kind of here in the front. Intestines down here, large intestine around the outside, small intestine kind of around behind the navel and out somewhat. So that movement is very important. So it tends to pump blood through all of those different organs. So see if you can feel the movement of the belly in the front. Just breathe. You can move your hands to the sides. And you can put your hands at the back. Let's see if you can feel movement there. So at each one of these different areas, it may take some practice for you to begin to feel something. So this is something you can develop over time, beyond the end of the length of this class. Spend a few minutes every day doing a little bit of breathing. Then eventually you can begin to join this up with the set. During the day, you can work on making your breath continuous. So no pausing between exhale and inhale, inhale and exhale. You may notice just from doing a little bit of this breathing that you may feel more relaxed. And that's always a good thing. The breathing can help to shift the body from sympathetic kind of fight or flight aspect of the nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is more concerned with rest, relax, digestion, repair. And it's a very calming state. And it's something that we really need in our modern lives. Many of us are just stuck in flight or fight. So that's why we need these kinds of exercises like the Taiji Qigong and this breathing and the standing to help us to get back to a more relaxed state. Okay, so we have 2 more classes. If you look in the chat section of your Zoom, there's a link there to bring you to the playlist for the recordings of this class. So all these classes have been recorded or will be recorded and uploaded. Also, if you open the description panel when you're in YouTube, you will see some timestamps. So there's a time, and then I put a little title there so that you can jump to certain parts of the recording. So you don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing. That's a convenience for you. So I think that'll be all for today. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to continuing with you over these next 2 classes. So be well and take care.